Okay, so good day sa tanan. So, especially sa grade 10 nga sa Xavier Academy. So, I know it's hard for you to understand the module, especially right now in our second grading, which is physics. Diba? Physics. Lisod kay sanan paminang word pa lang daan, lisod na kayo. So right now, I'm going to show you on how to solve those electromagnetic waves into energy and to convert that energy into electron volts. And also, there's a problem in how to solve the wavelength of ungiven frequencies in an electromagnetic spectrum. So today, first, we're going to solve... Okay, kudigo ha? So, atong ikuan sa screen ang constant tanan, rho BTR. So first is given. Number 1, so we're going to solve the energy in a given frequency. Example. So we have a given. Maklaro siya, brother. Given. We have a given of 4.3. So 4.3 times 10 to the 14 hertz. Okay. So this is frequency. A given frequency which is 4.3 times 10 to the 14 hertz. The next, the problem. Problem, say problem sir. For example, bugas, dako ka na nga problema. So problem, compute the energy. Okay, energy. Back. Then next, since we have the problem, so we have a given situation to solve the given, which is the frequency. Then the problem is the energy based on this frequency. And now, how going to solve a problem? So, pag-solve sa problema nato, kung walay bugas, ay buhaton, magpalit. So, karon sa ato ang physics na problema nato karon, we have the problem on how to solve, to compute the energy of a given frequency. And now, by using that, in math or in physics, we're going to use an equation on how to solve the problem. So, equation. Shortcut, no?
Equation na.
Equation na, ha? So, since energy is equals to frequency times the Planck constant. So, this is the equation on how to solve. So, don't worry kung din na siya ang i-derive pa because it's already given. So, sa module nga akong gihatag is already there. So, the problem lang is on how to solve. Diba? So, first, we're going to substitute. But first is that Planck constant is already a constant. Planck constant, di constant, di ba? So, Planck constant. Manta, pwede ta magsulat diri.
Oh, may kay mo.
Straight kayo, no? 45 degree na, 90 degree na. So, Planck constant. So, we have the Planck constant, which is constant man siya. So, 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34. Okay. Where's my kodigo? Kaysa nakalimot ko sa kaya mga bunga-bungaw tano. Negative 34 joules seconds. GS na ha? Junior, senior. Okay, so this is the Planck constant. So now, since we have already the two given, given for to solve the problem, we have the frequency and we have the Planck constant. So next, we're going to substitute. In our given, asa man dira ang ato ang frequency. Asa man dapit ang frequency. Kani. Okay, so now, let's substitute frequency into the given. So, 4.3 times 10, 14 hertz. Okay, again, so di ba klaro? Ano gina mga scientists, guys? Pangit kay agi. Tungod sa kapaspas sa pag-process sa utok ba?
We.
Nagtiyog-yo. So, Planck constant. So, it's already a constant. So, 6 point. So, again, guys, we are just only focusing on how to solve. I will not discuss this anymore. Kaya nakadiscuss na sa inyuhang modules. Okay, 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34 joules seconds. So now, sa sunod buhaton. Since we have the equation, we have already given. So first sa atuang math, basta magkuan ganita natay pang cancel out nga yung mga units for us kung say mabilin sa tuwang units diri. So, since frequency is the number of vibration per seconds, di ba? So, to talk about time. Then, in Planck constant, we have, the unit is joule seconds. So, energy per seconds that is produced by this Planck constant. So, we canceled out seconds in hertz because hertz is the number of vibration per seconds. Okay, so, number of vibration per second. So, cancel out seconds which is from the frequency. Okay, so next, so since we have already, so we're going to solve na. Karon ang problema, kay usually na ba magklase tang problema of scientific calculator. So don't worry kung wala mo scientific calculator because we're going to use basic na calculator. In your cell phone, you can use the calculator. So how to input that? I have my cell phone, so ako na ikuan Samsung na.
Sponsored by.
Sponsored by Samsung. Samsung, baka naman. So, pwede. Okay, so, karo, this is normal nga view sa calculator. So, how to make it as a scientific calculator? So, all you have to do like this, and, see this? Klaro ba? Kana na yung mga kandya, more formula sa ibabaw. Ako rin na siyang i-conday. Okay, so all you have to do is to click that. Bang! So scientific calculator na siya, no? Magic! It's sponsored by Samsung. Baka naman, Samsung, no? So, we're going to input this. Zoom diri, brother. Dili sa ako. We're going to input this value. So, ano na siya, guys, pag-input, no? Lingi. Okay? So, 4.3. Okay. Times 10. So, to the power. So, x-squared na itong gamiton. Instead of power. So, ito to. Pila? 14. Okay, 14. So, time. So, 4.3 times 10 to the power of 14 hertz times. So, close parenthesis na to. Kaya ron dili siya ma-appeal, lahi mo yung formula din mo gamit. So, 6.63 times 10 to the power of pila man? Tubag! Negative 34. Sir, negative man, sir. Saan man na karon, sir? If you see this, okay, i-click lang na. Oh, negative na siya. So, may problema wala. Okay. So, next, close parenthesis na po dayon ta. So, the result, kantawa, pila yung result? Sir, 2.8, sir. Okay, very good.
Nakuha na niyo.
Okay, so this is 2.8. Bangita sa 8. Uy, sa mga gasulatan ng 8 diya nga ahi. Blooper.
I-zoom yun din mo niya ba para?
Yan ang arag na space gamay. Ngano na space, guys? Agoy, protocol. Okay, so 5. So times 10, pila man? To negative 19. Okay, so negative 19. Now, kasi ikog as kayo. So now, basta may unit nga nabili na to since we are asking about energy. We're asking about energy. In definition in physics, energy is the capacity to do work. Diba? No? No. Bravo! So the unit will be joules. Oh, man. So therefore, okay. So therefore, this given frequency, it will produce an energy of 2.8 2.85 times 10 to the negative 19 joules. So this is the problem on how to solve the energy in a given equation, ay in a given frequency. So again, sa problem pa lang task on how to compute the energy. So napata sa given sa number 1 problem on how to solve the energy with a given frequency. And next thing to do is we're going to solve for the wavelength. Wavelength na po, di ba? Wavelength. So, problema na po ta. Given, so in a problem, a given problem, we're going to analyze first what is given. Okay, next is, after that, we're going to analyze what is the problem is being asked. So, in this scenario, we have the energy, ang problema niya. So, after that, we have the given, we have the problem next, in how to solve the problem. We're going to have the equation. Okay, in equations, it's already given in your modules on how to solve. The energy is equals to frequency times the Planck's constant. Again, constant. Say nasa constant, could not be changed. It's already in constant. This, the Planck constant, 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34 joule seconds. To solve that, so substitute frequency. We have the given frequency. Next, we have a given Planck constant. So, substitute, namon siya ang sa frequency, 4.3 times 10 to the 14 Hertz. Next is the Planck's constant. So, we have this, the Planck constant. 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34 joule seconds. Next, after we input the given, so we cancel out the units. So, cancel out since Hertz is the number of vibration per seconds, cancel out seconds. So, we have the remaining joules. Okay. Next is multiplication. Katong kaganina akong gibuhat pag input sa calculator. And here we go. We solved already the energy and a given frequency with a constant. 2.85 times 10 to negative 19 joules. Okay? Hello! Kurat mo no! So, the part 1 is on how to solve the energy in a given frequency by using the equation with a Planck constant. And now, we're going to solve the wavelength. Energy man to kaganina, so wavelength na pod karon, so problema na pod kayo, no? So, first, ang sagay tayo nahon, given. Given. Okay, pangitaon gina preventi si given. So, asa na siya paingon pangitaon gina si given. For example, we have a given of 3 times 10 to the power of 17 Hertz. Again, unsa nang Hertz? Unsa na siya nga unit? Under na siya sa frequency. So this is frequency. Number of vibration. Okay, problem. Unsa problem ani kaya? For example, since the problem is usahay bugas, lisod kina masolve. So, the problem is on how to solve the wavelength. Wavelength na pod. Sakto spelling ba?
I wonder how, I wonder why. Yesterday you told me about the blue, blue sky.
Ano bali?
Wala gani.
So, the problem is the wavelength. So, unsay kwan sa wavelength? Lambda.
Still lambda.
Okay na.
Okay na.
Ang problem, ang wavelength, di man ang lambda. Di man ang spelling sa lambda, okay na siya. Next is the equation on how to solve the wavelength. Equations. So, karon. The equation, so since speed of light, which is c, is equals to frequency times the lambda or the wavelength. So, the problem is the wavelength. Then we have the given equation, which is the speed of light is equals to the frequency times the wavelength. How are we going to solve that? Ang mabilin is ang wavelength na lang. So, we're going to apply the properties of math. So, close parenthesis. and which is the reflexive property of Mach. Okay, so we're going to derive this equation to have the lambda only. So, say cancel out na to, which is, saman, so this is the frequency. The frequency. Okay. So, cancel out.
Frequency.
But first, we're going to multiply that since this is unreflexive property of Mach. So, multiplied. So, we have 1 times C. Ako ginanyog ko na, 1C. So, that is C.
Nako, nag-participate din sa likod.
Over frequency is equals to 1 times F.
F.
Lambda times 1.
Lambda.
Brett, kaya quiz dyan din.
Sa likod rin participate.
Divide frequency. Okay, so since we can cancel out some variables, which is the frequency. Okay. So we have the final equation, which is, saman, tubag. Lambda is equals to
F over
speed of light over frequency. So this is our equation. Karon. So nasolve na nato atong equation from a given problem. Problem is wavelength. Given is the frequency. The equation we're going to use to solve the problem is the speed of light times the frequency and the wavelength. Karon, sir. Saan man ni karon, sir? Since the speed of light is, pila ganito? Constant man siya. I know na sa inyong modules, makita na ninyo, promise. So, speed of light, constant. So, in speed of light is in nanometer na ni siya as, dili sa tasakwan, 3 times 10 to the power of 8 meter per second. So, this is the speed of light. Constant in a vacuum. Okay. So, karon kay meter per seconds man. So, since ang atuang wavelength, ang unit niya is nanometer. Halaka. Meter man na bin, nanometer man na bin, saan man na karon? So, we're going to solve that. So, I will not show anymore on how to solve or to convert meter into nanometer. Just remember, in 1 meter, there is tak, 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 tak. Nanometer.
1 billion.
Oh. So, in 1 meter, there is 1 billionth nanometer. Diba? Ato na siya i-multiply. Solve na din. Wala itong problema. So, now, speed of light, convert this meter per seconds into nanometer. Why we're going to solve this meter into nanometer? Because lambda, the unit of lambda or the wavelength is in nanometer. So, speed of light, diretso ta, is equals to 3 times 10 to the power of 17 nm per seconds. So, nana sa inyuhang modules, kani mga constants kani siya tanan. So, we have this in speed of light in nanometer. Okay. So, we have the constant speed of light, we have the given frequency. Hala, pwede na tayo makasolve, no? Pwede tayo makabalin dili ba?
Pwede man.
Pwede na, no?
Ibalin ta.
Sige, so, mamalin sa amin!
Evacuate.
Back up!
Sige dire.
Okay. So, we're going to use this equation. Since na-evacuate ta, hindi sa diri. So, since na-evacuate ta, kani po na nga itong equation mo, evacuate po na silingan.
Dire. Sama sa yung whiteboard eh. Okay natin eh.
Okay, so nanidalan, no? Nagtawa sa brother?
Sige.
Kani, i-focus ni siya, oh.
Okay. Gago.
Gagi. Ay, wala pa pag-move.
Kulang pa tayo ito.
Wala pa.
Sige.
Okay na. So, Now, lambda is equal to speed of light over frequency. So again, the higher the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. Inversely proportional. The higher the frequency, the shorter the wavelength. Inversely proportional na sila. Na-discuss na siya sa inyong modules. Promise. So, karon, we have the equation sa sunod buhaton sa problem. Substitute. Okay. Pila itong speed of light? The speed of light would be 3 times 10 to the power of 17 nanometer per second. All over nagniwag man. Sa problema. Over pila tong frequency, given frequency we have. So zero or gani siya karon. 3 times 10 to the power of 17 hertz. How much hertz did you get from this frequency? It hurts me so much because it hurts. Nakagets mo. Only for the scientists rin kasabot nato.
Mukay.
Okay, so input na sa calcio. By the way, pag gumangani na to is we're going to cancel that again. Hertz is number of vibration per seconds. So hertz is number of vibration per seconds. So cancel out. Tak. Uy. Tak. Uy. Tak. Okay, so since the unit of wavelength is in nanometer, diba? Ay, pinagkata guys. Ani na no? Ani na siya no? Okay, klaro ba?
Klaro.
Klaro. 3 times 10. Okay, to the power of, or squared lang yung gamiton. Power of, pila? 17. Okay, so divide. So, close parenthesis na punta. Pag uman niyo sa divide, close parenthesis na yun. Open siya, no? Open na. Open na.
Open.
Open na. Close
Open.
na.
Close na nga.
Okay kayo! So, 3 times 10 to the power of 17 divide 3 times 10 to the power of, so pareha silang wavelength, pareha pa silang frequency. To the power of 17. 3 times to the power of 17, so double close parenthesis. So, sa result na. 1 ang result.
Di ka madunggan. Naman na yung mic dito sa luyo.
Ay!
Pero pwede man eh.
Okay
Pwede
lang.
pa rin baylo-baylo ang audio na lang.
So,
Ano
okay.
yan?
Yan. Ito na din. 1.
Sa buka ka.
So, makara naman po siguro diri oh. Para ragod na sa kwan.
Pare.
5 divide 5. Pero, ay, uy! Oh, pareha tag power, pareha tag numbers. Kasi hulatan, 1. So that is 1. Kung ito ay so na. So that is 1. Sana all mo cute.
Uy.
So sa unit na nabilin, since we're asking about lambda, and that is in nanometer. Tadang! Woo! Okay, so what's up mga ka-Xavierian diha? So, manata sa number 1 is to compute the energy. Number 2 is to compute the wavelength. Karon, convert into electron volt. Hello? So, naku kudigo para makita ninyo. Di ba klaro? Okay. So, we have topic number 3 in which energy to electron volt. So, duha ka process itong buhaton na ni karon. Labad sa ulo na po. Okay, first, sa buhaton. Pag-analyze sa problem, we should first have the given. The given is Siya?
Dan mo siya dahil pinaliwala niya ako dahil sa'yo.
Oh, naman po siya noon.
Bote mo.
So given, we have the given of 2 times 10 to the power of 23. Again, saan na siya? That is frequency. Ah. Ting, 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 ting. Next is the problem. How you pronounce that? Problem. Problem. The problem. Okay, we have the problem. The problem is from energy to electron volt. So duha tong agian. First, we're going to solve the energy in a given frequency, and after that, we're going to convert energy into electron volt. So dako na siya, no? Labad. Okay, so equation. Sa equation na to. So equation. Kalimot. Okay, equation is energy gapon. Since we're asking about energy, times the frequency, and the energy is equals to frequency and Planck constant. Wala ka FH, function hall. So, again, we have the constant of, what's this? The Planck constant. So, H is equals to 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34 joules seconds. Dili na siya junior, senior, ha? Okay.
Ay, wala akong video. Gago.
Gagi!
Tara siya. Constant.
Okay. So, since electron volt, in every 1 electron volt is equal to 1.6 times 10 to the power of negative 19.
2 minutes na lang nabilin.
Sige, joules. Okay, so
So
first-
storage was
storage. So first, frequency. Pila tong frequency? That is 2 times 10 to the power of 23 hertz. Sakit. Hertz. Planck constant, we have 6. Ano sa kanang sakon gani sa kanang video kyan? 6. Kanang 6. 6. 6. 6. 3. 10. Negative 34 joules seconds. Okay. So, sisunod buhatan gani. Once we already substitute the variables into our value. Variables, value. Okay. So, since hertz, dili ng hertz ka kung unsa ka nakasakitan sa iyaha. Hertz. Dili na mao. We're talking about physics. The number of vibration per seconds. So, we have pak. So, nabilin. So, we're asking about energy. So, joules. The capacity to do work. Next.
1 minute lang.
1 minute lang.
Ay, cut na lang dahil mag-transfer na lang dahil tas umakat na.
So, naglibog ko. Maklaro? 2 times 10 to the power of pila? Tubag. 23. Okay. 23 times, close parenthesis, 6.63 times 10 to the power of tubag. 34. Sir, negative man. Tuplo ko na dong. Next. Okay. So, we have 2 times 10 to the power of 23 hertz times plus parenthesis 6.63 times 10 to the negative 34 joules. So, the result is 1.32. Ano na siya? 1.32 times 10 to the negative 10 sa unit. That is joules. Okay, so mana ba ta?
Mana?
Wala pa.
Wala pa. 1 minute na lang. Wala na 0 minutes na nabutang din eh.
Wala na?
Pero wala pa, nag-record pa siya.
Record pa.
Oo. Ito sa may stop.
Okay, so next is convert that into electron volt. So 1.32 times 10 to the power of negative 10 joules. So 1 electron volt, so divide 1.6 times 10 to the negative 19. Divide 1.6 times 10 to the power of
Negative 19.
negative 19. So in electron volt, we have 825. This is mega electron volt. By the way, sorry guys, napalo nila ito ang video, no? So, mo ka na, wala ta kapanukad. So, mo ka to. So, thank you for listening and watching. And I hope, Xavier Yan, you can solve this. So, you all feel free to ask questions on YouTube. Click on the channel. Bye-bye!